All right, good afternoon. It is OBC Explorers here. All right, I'm going to talk about this for a minute because I'm very pissed off. I have a lot of self hate towards myself that I cannot really explain. My brain is fucked in the head. I'm 26 years old. I barely have any motivation to get out of bed. And I'm angry. I'm very angry at my past self. I don't like who I was in my past. If I could go back to 10 years and change everything, I definitely would, you know? Um, 2022 was probably one of the best years of my life. I'm going to say this, just going out and doing things with friends. I have two photographers, best friends of mine. I don't always see them, but when I do see them, we pick up right where we left off. And that's what I love about our neurospicy minds is like, we all act crazy around each other. So it's like on Instagram, his name is Fishhawk Photography. That's Bradley. And then his other friend, Noah, it's 1184 Photography. And that's the thing is like, I do miss them. I drove all the way up there in 2022 after being friends with them. I don't know why my dad has to talk like he's like talking down to someone from a mountain. He doesn't have to talk that loud all the time, but he does. But anyway, and so it's interesting to me because it's like to go from constantly traveling to crash your car in 2024 and you're completely starting your life over at 26 trying to get back to where you were again. It's very, very frustrating. It's very, very nerve-wracking. 2023, I was going up to Philly a lot because I met a friend on that trip to New Hampshire. I stopped up in Philly on the way to New Hampshire. And that was one of the things that I loved about it was like I made a mini trip about it. We stopped in Philly, picked up my friend from Philly. We stopped in like Connecticut, I think. And it was an amazing trip, just to do that, just to go up to New Hampshire for the first time around fall. And then fast forward to 2023, I graduated December of 2022, but 2023, I was going up to Philly just about every other weekend to explore some crazy abandoned building with my friend Sage. She moved to a different state now, but I definitely look up to her. She's an amazing friend. I do miss her, because she's like the sister I never had, basically. And like I just get so pissed off of what I've gone through as a person, and I'm not really trying to seek happiness anymore. I'm content with not being happy. You know, Getting a house, moving out, I'm going to be happy when that happens. And chances are you are not going to be happy when that happens. You're still going to feel the same way about certain things that have bothered you. So it's like you can't let that define your happiness, okay? Happiness is something that comes and goes in life, okay? And I do get, like I said, I do let my past. The biggest thing I hate about myself is not being able to let go of the past and things that I can't control. And I guess I have to channel that anger into artwork, a lot of crappy things have happened to me in the past 2 years, 2024 and 2025, So, and it's like once a moment is gone, you might be experiencing some of the best memories. You're gonna let it get to you. It's gonna piss you off, A lot of the places that I've explored with friends are being torn down. And there's so much art that I cannot create because those places are gone. So I have to find another place that fulfills that initial photography project that I had in mind. Because it's like one of the things I miss about my friend Sage was that she would take the bus down here, and we would explore some place in Baltimore or somewhere around Maryland. And then I would drive up to her or take the bus up if I didn't feel like driving sometimes. And then we would explore some crazy place up there. And it's like, this is the important thing I want for all you young people to realize is like, if you're into exploring whatever you're into, just start producing videos. It doesn't have to be good, doesn't have to be edited crazy. It can just be raw like this. Like, I don't really want to edit videos much. I have a GoPro. I don't really feel the need that you need to edit a video that much. If it's raw and it's what you're saying in the moment, then yeah, post it. you know? And I think one of the biggest thing that makes me angry at 26 is just like, I'm definitely going through a quarter life crisis, you know? Um, I, I struggle with my mind every day, you know? Um, mental, um, health is a big thing for me, you know? And, just trying to maintain happiness is hard, you know? I was always this shy and kind of timid kid, you know, and I wish I had someone to help me get out of that. Because it's like, you know, I never experienced really a relationship as a teen. You know, I never had that, you know, girl come over and you're just like, you know, you're just embracing each other, you know, laying in bed, you know, and it's like, I want that feeling, you know, at 26, it's like, I've only had that feeling a couple times, you know, and I think it's frustrating, especially like one of the biggest struggles with social media today is when you see this happening. Like, you know, when I see some 16, 17-year-old dude, you know, posting a photo or a video of him and his girlfriend, you know, just chilling in bed, it kind of pisses me off because, like, if I put myself out there and not been so uptight and not been afraid to joke and not, you know, be afraid to, like, be bold and speak what's really on your mind, you never know what can happen. Because, you know, women like guys who are funny, you know, it's like, and if you're bold enough to say what's on your mind in the moment, not holding back, you know, nothing wrong with it, you know? It's like, and I think, you know, just having to break away from the morals and things that my parents believed in is part of the problem why I was such a late bloomer. You know, it's like if I say something funny, a joke, whether it's a dirty joke or something, they're always like, you know, what's wrong with you? Or like, why would you say that? I feel like you have to find your own people that actually get you as a person. Because it's like, you know, I am frustrated for not really, you know, putting myself out there. Long story short, I got no bitches when I was a teenager, okay? And it's like, for all you youngins out there, it's like you kind of have to just do your own thing, be your own person, you know, and stick up for yourself. And don't be afraid to be like, no, I'm like, this is how I'm going to talk. This is how I'm going to be as a person, you know, and you kind of have to carry yourself in a different way. You know, you have to have the ability to be able to go and talk and go up to a woman and don't have to be a pickup line. You could just simply say like, "Hey, yo, I like you," or something like that. Or like, you know, you're at a girl out in public, you know, like, and you just like, ran into someone. Go up to her and like simply say like, "Hey, you know, um, be like, you know, have you eaten dinner yet tonight?" Or something like that, and be like, it's like, I'm gonna go make a reservation. It's like, what time you want to eat? Like, you know, like just kind of come up with something interesting, you know, and you never know. If you don't ask, you're not gonna know, you know. So don't be afraid to be bold and just have fun with it. That's all I can say, you know. I'm gonna be 30 in 4 years, you know. So for anyone who's, you know, 13, you know, in that stage of their life, just have fun with it. You know, that's all I can say. Um, you know, just go out and explore buildings, do dumb stuff with your friends because that part of your life ends very, very quickly, you know. And I took it for granted, not gonna lie, you know. You got a snow day for school, you're not go to school, get all your friends together, have a snow battle, make snow forts, do all that crazy stuff. You know, go find some abandoned building, you know. And please, for the love of God, get your license as soon as you can. I waited until like after I graduated to get my license. And it sucked because I missed out on having that freedom of being able to go out and just drive and do things with my friends, you know. And I didn't really try to make that many friends that were like, you know, close. I was close knit with, you know. It wasn't until my 20s that I kind of like got to see what that was like, you know. And it's like I yearn for more of that, but at the same time I'm 26 and it's very hard to, you know, make friends in your late 20s, you know. So your teen years are not all about school, you know. If anything, as an artist, I'll tell you this is like school definitely kills artists, you know. Don't be afraid to skip school for a day. Just go out and do some crazy stuff with your friends, you know. Go climb some abandoned power plant, get photos inside of it, you know. Spend the night in an abandoned power plant, you know, just in an abandoned place. Have paintball in an abandoned factory. Set it up to where you have like all these different things you can hide behind. Like, just post to YouTube. Just do anything. That's all I can say. It's just like, don't be afraid of strict parents. Just do what you want. Um, you know, and your teen years are about exploring yourself as a person, exploring your body as a person. It's basically about just exploring you as a person and not satisfying anybody but yourself. That's what I could say. So yeah, I did miss out on that period of my life. I'm angry about it. Yes. Do I want to have kids right now? No, I don't. Do I want to continue to be free and do my own thing? Yes, I do. Because at the end of the day, this is still my youth. So that's all I wanted to say is just like, and what I'm gonna title this video is basically like, happiness is not always gonna be part of life. You're gonna have your moments where you're just not gonna be happy, and for unforeseen circumstances. I miss the friends. I miss the close relationships I had with friends, and then we kind of all scatter and we do our own thing. One of my best friends, I don't even know what's going on in her life because she completely shut me out after she moved to a different county in Maryland. And, we used to hang out almost every weekend, She suffered with some mental problems just like I do, And so, yeah, I do miss them. But it's about trying to make new friendships. It's definitely harder in your 20s because everybody has their different avenues. It's you're in close proximity to each other when you are in school, grade school. You obviously have close proximity to people. You're going to, have a higher chance of having friends that are going to constantly be there. But once you get in your 20s, it's your proximity to people, it becomes greater, But, like I said, as a reminder, just try to not be so hard on yourself. I'm saving up for a car again so that I can actually get back into exploring and everything. But, yeah, it's difficult. 2025 was definitely a very crappy year. It sucked, So I'm hoping that I can do better in 2026, And, yeah, that's all I pretty much got to say. But yeah, like I said, rebel, do what you want. Don't let anybody prevent you from doing what you want to do. Whether it's your parents, any family member, just be you. Dress how you want to dress, And please do this when you're age 12, 13. Just do it. Go off on people. Show them who you are. Have that ego. Just kind of, you have to be kind of flashy sometimes. You want people to recognize you and you want to be, you want to be made aware of. You want to be noticed. So, all right, this has been OBC Explorers. Peace.